We're live. Good evening, folks. This is Innovators Pod. My name is Don Schwartz, and I'm here with Dr. Joe Cohen, who I have up on
Hello.
the screen. This is me. I'm Don Schwartz, and I'm Innovators Pod. And this is Joe.
Hi, I'm Dr. Joe. I'm a pediatrician here in Austin, Texas.
And Joe does all kinds of interesting things. I think those of you who were with us a couple of weeks ago saw that he uses Google Glass in his KiddoEMR product.
Yes, very fond of glass of KiddoEMR, especially in my office. You sound a little sick there, Don.
I am on the last day of a nasty cold.
Your last day, huh?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay, good. What med school did you go to?
Well, it started almost a week ago. It started last Tuesday, so.
Well, you know what they say about sinusitis. It takes about a week to go away with antibiotics and 7 days to go away without.
Yes, and I've been taking all the zinc. I take a lot of zinc products, ibuprofen, and a lot of ginger ale.
I don't know. I tried zinc. Doesn't it make you nauseous?
No, it makes me dry. It dries you out nicely. So.
Well, I have a little water in the occasion. But
Yeah,
I remember that a lot of my patients complain that their kids throw up when they give them zinc.
Well, on kids, I have no idea how it would work.
Well, I am a pediatrician, Don.
But we used to try ginger ale on my daughter for car sickness, but and then the dog for car sickness. We tried raw ginger in his food, and it didn't work either. So
I guess it kind of depends on the ginger ale. Like I always have patients that come in for their urinary infections, and they're drinking Ocean Spray, which is like cranberry juice cocktail, and I don't think even has cranberry juice in it. I'm like,
it's one or 2%, right?
Yeah, but I don't think all ginger ale has real ginger in it, Don, is my point. And ginger is good for nausea and motion sickness, and it does ease your stomach. Remember that when I had chemotherapy, I guess maybe most of our listeners don't know I survived Hodgkin's lymphoma, and during chemo, if you got a good ginger tea, I can't remember the brand, but it was really effective in kind of coating my stomach and settling it down. So I guess maybe you were using fake ginger ale.
Canada Dry? But actually, for chemo, maybe I'll tell my brother. He could probably just eat a lot of food with ginger root in it.
Oh, I don't think it depends. Bland is the way to go, but if you have ginger extracts, like in tea or, but most people think of ginger as that pickled ginger that you get with sushi. I don't recommend that on a chemo stomach. But also, there's something you can get from the Chinese doctor, or I don't know what you're supposed to call them.
And you can get pills at the drugstore. You can get ginger pills.
Yeah, but I think we should have as much of the experience, but glutamine powder is another one that really helps coat the stomach.
Okay.
But I guess we didn't come here to talk about stomach and chemotherapy, Don, did we?
We came here to talk about all kinds of goodies, and I did put up the showcase on the right side, which for folks that are in here, you can. I'm not sure how you get to it for everybody, but you can click on the yellow tabs if you see those. We're going to talk about this. Next weekend is the big Android barbecue meet and greet in Alexandria, Virginia, and also the Cohen Kitchen during the day. Doc's going to tell us all about Baby Giggle, which sounds really cool to me, and his app of the week, which is Healthy Children. And I do want to mention, I'll wait till the end, we'll talk about Watch Society, which I wish I could go, not just because it's in Amsterdam, but it sounds like a really good meeting. And I'm sure Joe will give us a little overview again about on his KiddoEMR.
Oh, you know me, I'll always talk about KiddoEMR.
And folks, the QA app is running. If you'd like to ask questions, I'll read them and pass them on. And
yeah. So anyone can be encouraged to ask questions at any time. I really don't. I always tell my med students I don't like to lecture. I like to have a discussion.
Good. So the idea behind this this hangout or podcast, whatever it is, to get together, and I think I said on the signage there twice a month, but maybe once a month, or if something really game-changing happens in med tech or health tech, we'll jump online and do one of these. But
things are changing all the time.
Yeah, and it just seems to me right now is uh, for the rest of the computing world, it's wearables, but it's more than wearables, I think, for healthcare. From what I've seen over the last year, as I've gotten involved with healthcare and tech, it's the entire world of healthcare seems to be changing, and it's because young and smart brains have gotten on the case in order to find ways to save money and make healthcare better at the same time. And that's where things like Google Glass are going to come into play, and open EMRs, and open APIs, so all the EMRs talk together. It's so much is going to happen over the next year or two, I think.
And the lions will lay down with the lambs.
Sure. Anyways, I like to hear
their swords into plowshares. I don't. I think that I've always said this: the power of this country, at least the United States, the power is in the people, not the corporations. If someone finds a better way to do it, people are going to do it. The power of our free market economy. They want to try to support a corporate architecture. It's just not what I'm here to do. And I don't think our healthcare system can take any more wasted dollars than it already does. So we'll see. I'm always free to talk about that, but we should start talking about what we came to talk about.
Okay.
I think we should talk about, let's see, next weekend already is our trip to Alexandria, Virginia, as Don knows, and I'll tell our listeners. I went to the first big Android barbecue last year in Dallas, quote unquote Dallas, Texas. It was in Hearst at the convention center there, and it was a barbecue, like 3-day developer conference / enthusiast / parties, and it was a lot of fun. And I had made a lot of good friends and a really great enthusiast community there. So I also spoke there. It was my first non-medical lecture / presentation I gave as a talk called "I'm a Doctor, Not a Developer." And we talked a little bit about what privacy is in healthcare, what the laws are, what's going on in the technology space in healthcare, and what my experiences was developing KiddoEMR for the 2 years prior. And after that, everything kind of snowballed, and we ended up being their partner for this year's events. And our first sponsored event is coming up in Alexandria, Virginia, this Saturday. The Code Kitchen and presentations start at 8 a.m., followed by a riverboat 3-hour tour. I don't know, they call it a 3-hour tour. As there's no desert islands in the middle of the Potomac River, are there, Don?
There's a lot of pretty flowers to see along the Potomac, though.
But a 3-hour tour, I think Gilligan's Island.
Right, you're right. Well, a 3-hour tour from Alexandria would take you down past George Washington's place, not York.
Mount Vernon.
Mount Vernon, yes, which is not very far downriver from there. But I think it's to go up through D.C. and see the beautiful flowers. It's in bloom, right? They may be past by then, actually.
The sakura.
The who?
The cherry blossoms.
The cherry blossoms. Right.
They're Japanese, Don. They're from
I have two in my front yard.
Yeah, they're sakura.
I always wondered how you pronounce it.
I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm sure it's a little bit more accents. I think we're getting a little echo, Don. Do you get that?
No, it's fine.
All right.
My cherry tree is sitting in 2 feet of snow, by the way.
Is it and it's blooming?
No.
Yeah. Well, I think one small, strong gust and they fall off the tree. So it all depends about the amount of wind that you have. So, anyways, we're going there. I will be giving a talk talking about HIPAA-compliant developments for apps with impact. That's also a hashtag apps with impact. I guess it spells itself. 2 P's. 3 total. APPS. I don't know. Don, you can write that
part
down.
Of Code Kitchen?
Well, it is, and I'll be doing the presentation for kind of lay out what HIPAA is again in more brief terms, and what I think what we call apps with impact are, which are apps that actually impact your health in positive ways. Also going to talk a little bit about how we're doing apps for convenience and automation and patient experience, not exactly doing FDA-approved medical device technology. That's not why we're here. We're trying to add efficiency to the process and mitigate waste, which means lowering costs for everybody and saving time, and time is money and cost, so it just snowballs into a lot of savings and a lot of efficiency. And we see this in other areas. We're going to present a lot of challenges, and I'm not going to give them away today, but to our developers in-house to come up with open source solutions for facilitating the patient experience before, during, and after their visit at the office. And that includes everything from interacting with the physician's office, having a archive of what was done for them and their child, and also being able to follow up with the information and live personnel. It's something that really is long overdue, something that will allow a robust platform to spring forward.
Well, is it all portable? Is it something that, let's say, we get mad at you and we want to leave and go to a different doctor next year? Not that would ever happen.
I mean, that's a multifaceted question. What we're trying to do with this app is support an app alone. Going into KiddoEMR's APIs is going to be the next step after that. But I know I can speak for our own technology is our data is completely standard in its export CCD and CCR formats, as you know. But in addition, patients can access their data in a granular fashion and do whatever they want with it. Save it to their own information, export it, import it, and take charge of their record as well.
Are our records ever going to be stored in the cloud? And I know this is totally off subject, but so we can get them universally from any physician, it's
going to be a long time coming, and I think it's always going to be better for patients that are born into the electronic system from day one, as opposed to, adults getting their data imported, like me, old people.
Okay. It's interesting. I'm part of a hospital system up here, and I go to their to a primary care physician that it is part of that same system, and they're all supposedly on this little cloud system where they keep all our records, and all my records are there from the primary care, but nothing from when I actually go in the hospital. I had surgery 3 years ago. None of that's in the system for some reason. And
for some reason, I mean, there's so many reasons that that's not there. It's not that they don't care.
I know. But they keep telling me, I get these emails every once in a while, you should check your My Health or whatever it's called. You should take a look at it. I go in there. It's the same thing as that was there 2 years ago.
Yawn.
Yep.
Well, the thing is that I have one at my patient portal at my primary care office, and it's like using IRC. It is. It might as well be IRC. And I'm just not going to do it. So I took my email off, and I said, forget it. God knows who can hack that. I mean, we're talking like terminal-type dashboard interface.
Right.
There's they don't have any interest in offering granular interoperability. And people say, oh, what about this company? What about that company? I said, look, I know what they can do. But my position is no one's doing pediatrics justice. I am. I will. Leave it to me. Go do the rest. I'll take care of the kids. There's plenty of people out there, and adult medicine outpaces pediatrics every day of the week. If they feel threatened, then maybe I'm doing something right.
Well, I have a 3-year-old grandson, so I love.
What a lovely age.
He's
Pitbull
incredible.
and a senator, a 3-year-old.
He was 6 weeks early, but you'd never know it. And that's why I give to my charity of choice is March of Dimes, because I know that when I was in the NICU, that a lot of that was because of the money March of Dimes raised in the 60s and the 70s. So,
neonatal medicine has certainly come a long way, even since I've been in school. So.
I was amazed, absolutely amazed. I want to hear about Baby Giggle. This thing looks cool. Let me get this right. It's a baby bottle that's got a Bluetooth sleeve on it, or the sleeve goes around the standard bottles, from what I read.
I saw them first at CES in January, It was at this European technology party in downtown Vegas, which is north of uptown Vegas. I'm confused already, but and they showed how this sleeve, it goes over a standard Nook brand bottle, but I'm not sure about interoperability. And I've talked with them, but they don't. I think they're trying to sell that brand.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but I know that once for the Kickstarter price for $75, gets you 2 Nook sleeves and 2 Nook bottles and a sleeve. But anyways, I saw them at CES, and they were talking about how it automatically trains the parent with a biofeedback with an inclinometer as to how the baby's bottle should be held. And this is for babies feeding on formula and also for babies taking express breast milk. And I guess I should put the disclaimer out, breastfeeding is best.
Right.
And we always want you to do direct breastfeeding. But if you can't, then I really like this technology. And since meeting with them, they asked me to endorse it, I guess with my medical credential. And it's been a lot of fun talking about it. So what it does is you use this bottle, you mix the formula, and it can tell how much is in there. And then it also can tell what the best angle to hold before, during, and towards the end of the feed. It'll alarm the parent when they're holding it to give the baby too much air and optimize the best rate of flow. But what's really nice about it, in addition, is that it quantifies the feed in graphical format over time, the amount drank, how many times you alarmed for air feeding, and if it was alarming for other reasons, including lump detection and too much effort.
So and it keeps records on an app, I would assume?
Yeah, there's an application for iOS and for Android, and what it does is it will plot this data graphically for the parents.
So as a grandparent who, if my daughter leaves my grandson with me, I don't want to turn this thing on because she's just going to use it to say, you didn't feed him right.
Yeah, well, but then I think that in the spirit for the baby, and not your ego, but the baby's health, that what important thing here is that if you're taking care of the child because mom went to work, yep, you don't have to account for the feedings. They are accounted by themselves.
Cool.
By using the sleeve. And they thought of a lot of cool little tricks, including the inclinometer turns off the Bluetooth radio while you're feeding the child. It will alarm for a lump detection, and it also monitors the volume as the liquids leaving the bottle. And so I really like that. So then with the application, they have this Baby Journal 3.0, which allows you to share this information to your pediatrician. So, of course, naturally, I'm already like, wow, that would be great. You can have that feeding data right in the chart using our APIs. And so, yeah, we'll talk with them about that. But first things first, to tell people about the product. And it's really exciting because it's reusable, it's BPA-free plastic, it's a great nipple that I found a lot of parents have come into success with. And it is very much this modified self, can help act with impact. It helps the child. It helps the parent, gives them more confidence. If you could get the father to do 5 or 6 more feedings a week because he wants to use that cool light up sleeve thingy, then even that's a win.
Well, I got to tell you, Joe, both my kids are adopted, so I'm an expert on bottle feeding.
You're an expert. You did it without the baby giggle. Go figure.
In the middle of the night, I didn't have an excuse to sleep through the night. So I did a lot of it, and I'll tell you, you do learn. It's so quick that you learn, you become comfortable between. It's like you and the baby become symbiotic or something like that, I think, and figure it all out yourselves.
It's like you're having a breastfeeding moment, Don.
Exactly. Well, that's what I think happens, and it was a beautiful experience. I wouldn't change it for anything. I do have one little question. Bluetooth, though, is a radio. It's not putting out any type of radiation at all?
Well, like I said, when one of the tech notes that I had from the company, it actually deactivates when you're using it.
Oh, okay, okay.
So it acts like a base station when you set it down when you're done with it, and then it'll communicate with Bluetooth Smart or low energy, it's 4.0 LE, I believe.
Yeah, LE, yep.
And it will broadcast to your app, much like your watch, your smart watch, your not Apple Watch, Android Wear watch isn't always talking to your phone. It just talks to it when it needs to.
Right.
But yeah,
I know
I'm
the
always
Bluetooth
concerned. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Bluetooth is safe anyways, as far as I know. It doesn't have the radiation worries that like Wi-Fi might, or actually Wi-Fi doesn't either.
Well, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth are the same bands, and it's also the same as the 900 hertz megahertz cell phones that have been around forever. So I think but it's a nice point of sale.
Mm-hmm. This sounds cool. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, if you go to the website
on Indiegogo.
Yeah, it's a French company, and I haven't looked at what are they up to now, Don? Have you gone to their page?
Yeah, I did. I'll look right now. You can keep talking.
I hope it's good. I hope it's good while you look at it.
Let's see.
Because I haven't looked at it, but it's not too expensive.
Oh wait, I'm not on their Indiegogo page.
You got a link through their site. Here you go. I'm there. All right, so they got a little bit of work to do.
How are they doing?
Let's see, they're at $901 US by 14 people in under a week.
Oh, that's not bad.
So, but yeah, they just need to get their name out. And anyway, so that comes with the basic offer is what, $75. You get 2 baby bottles and 1 sleeve. Then there's $149, 2 sleeves and 4 bottles, and then it goes up.
Yep.
3 bottles, 3 sleeves, 6 bottles for $219. And it just keeps going. I'm not going to go through all these.
Don't they have a smile and thank you for 5?
I don't get a cut off this. Not that it's my interest in this is that it's the connected parent. It's a non-invasive technology that helps parents feel better about feeding their child, especially when you're dealing with a mom who may be feeling bad that she can't breastfeed. Because in my experience, most of them do want to breastfeed. Very few parents of mine come in and say, I'm formula.
Okay.
It's a good one.
Yeah. Good thing about Indiegogo, by the way, for people that don't know out there, the reason it's different than Kickstarters, Indiegogo, whatever you raise, you keep. You don't have to hit your goal. Although, obviously you'd like to hit your goal or go over it, but you don't have to hit it. With Kickstarter, you have to hit your goal or you don't keep it. You don't get the money. So next on your list was this Healthy Children App of the Week.
Yes, and I really like that. Talk about this because it's a great app. It's available on both Android and iOS, and it's free. And I think right now the most efficient use of parents' times, and naturally, I guess people are like, well, I thought this was about tech and medicine. I'm a pediatrician. We'll start here first. We can go elsewhere. Is education. So the best application of technology is really to educate parents. And I really like healthychildren.org, which is their website. This is an American Academy of Pediatrics website, a website and application. And what it does is it informs the parent, and they have things like developmental ages and stages of development of the child, search of health issues alphabetically, and then also has some live data streaming tools like finding a pediatrician, asking pediatric forum to pediatricians in the forum. I'm not there. You also get to read Healthy Children's Magazine and watch videos, articles, and resources. It's something I've used. It's a little bit buggy and it doesn't have universal support on Android devices, but it's pretty good. It's a great for education. You could always open up some links, at least on Android in Chrome, as opposed to using the app. But they're not really trying to sell you anything, and it's kind of a good. At least it gets you thinking, hey, maybe I should go to their website. But for a lot of the stuff, it works really well.
Well, my kids were before all this tech, basically, and I would think that nowadays a parent, instead of being so incredibly paranoid and worrying about every disease, it must be so easy, but maybe it's also complicated to find all the solutions online in an app like that, or just by doing a search. What's wrong with my kid? And I know there's apps out there now that look at skin rashes and hit on these databases of 50,000 images of different types of skin rashes and things like that.
That one worries me a little bit, because that one just scares me, actually.
Right.
What if it's wrong?
Well, I know.
Have you used that one?
Hmm?
Have you used that one?
I saw it demonstrated in Boston, and they were taking pictures. It's for moles, and anybody who was there, they would actually take a picture and add it to their database. Okay, and so they wanted to have a database basically as large as they can get of every possible mole that is okay, and that is baby precancerous, and that is a melanoma or whatever.
That smells double-blind control study from a mile away, Don. I'm telling you, they don't even know that they were probably doing a medical study and getting data on what moles look like. Because I don't know it. I mean, you'd have to have a doctor standing by for everyone.
Right.
Otherwise, they can't make those claims.
It was interesting. They're not going to say if it's bad, but just going to say, yes, you should see a doctor.
Wouldn't it be cool if it was a study?
Yeah, and they didn't know it?
Well, yeah, that's the best way to get valid information. And if they need, maybe they're doing a study to see if you can even tell the difference with the smartphone camera. And they had, I've seen a lot of that. I've actually had to participate in a few of those in undergrad, like deceptive studies.
Right.
In the name of science.
A lot of people today were talking about the 60 Minutes yesterday. And I knew this was coming, this one about this great potential cure, they called it, for glioblastomas. And Glioblastomas, yes.
Yes.
And it's interesting because just the other day I was listening, I'm trying to remember the podcast that I listened to that was all about how the media has to stop doing this on early trials, calling things cures.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, first of all, there is never going to be a cure. There will be life extensions and things like that, but they don't expect to have a cure for cancer.
I think that jumping to early conclusions is never good, but what people don't realize is that we're using a human label for a spectrum of illness. You can't just call everything one thing and have every patient in that population do well.
Right.
So no treatment works for everybody in most of those cases, and that's why you go through different regimens are available. There's a first line, a second line. But the press is just, they're so evil.
I know. This just went. It was exactly what she was talking about on. It was the NPR Health podcast or something last week, and I should have written it down, but talking about how, this is the early stage first trials, and it's showing incredible promise that injecting people with polio, with the actual polio virus, is somehow at certain levels is helping slow the growth of their tumors, of their brain tumor. Okay, but half the time, if not more, when you get to the second stage, it's all proven wrong. And so you get everybody all excited. Anyways.
Yes. It's all about clickbait, really, or ratings, and getting the proper exposure to a story.
Exactly.
And I'm sure they tell you about it first thing and then cover it the last thing of the show.
Oh, of course. Yeah. They make you watch the rest of it. So Healthy Children, though, is from So the American Academy of Pediatrics, you said.
Yeah, so you know it's proctored data, it's stuff off their website, which you can also go to. They do have a mobile version.
Mm-hmm.
And I like it because it gives parents information. Sometimes I'll refer them to that website for definitions of certain things if they don't know what they stand for. Or they'll read about conditions during follow-up visits and tell me about what they learned. There's really not. There's a fine line. You can't really call something a medical app if it doesn't address a certain condition and have certification to do so. These are apps of convenience. So I think education is the best place to start. And the AAP did a okay job. In comparison, they did a great job. But it's a lackluster experience, but at least it's a place to start, and I think that's what people should be focusing on right now. And information, giving patients information to make the right decisions without having to go to the Google search bar.
So what is there? You're talking about education, which to me is, that's the reason for the success of this internet thing. It's all about the education of the entire world. We're just all of a sudden be able to absorb so much. Are there apps for the kids, for your patients? I think my grandson had one little app to help him learn how to brush his teeth, maybe. Are there apps that help them with their health?
Not many. There are motivational fitness tracker-like devices for children, but not really many that are addressing a child directly. And I think that's the way it should be, frankly. I think we market to our children enough.
Right.
And usually it's bad stuff like sugar. But right now it's to get tools into the parents' hands. And education is a great place to start. And this is one of the products that is available now that will allow you to do that. Educate your patient, knowing the information is checked and curated and updated. So I like this app, and it's available in the Google Play Store and in Mac's App Store, iOS. Is it the App Store?
And do these also run on, let's say, the lower powered? I have a nice, fancy, top-of-the-line smartphone, but most of the world can't afford those. And so,
well, like I said, that's what I like about it. It's also a web page, and their web page does have a mobile version that's optimized for small displays. So if the app doesn't work right for you or your device isn't supported, you can go to healthychildrens.org.
Cool. Excellent.
I like it.
Sounds good.
Anything that helps our kids, of course,
Now, did you go to the Watch Society last year?
No, I did not. I was in, what did you say? Is it Amsterdam?
It's in Amsterdam the end of April, the 29th. It's the second one. I wanted to go last year and I couldn't. I'm going to just pop over here and read about it a little bit. And it's the Wearable Technology and Healthcare Watch Society. So I think the first one was in Indiana last year. And Dave Martineau, I think, was one of the physicians in charge of putting it together, as far as I know. It's not a good group, but Amsterdam would have been fun, just to go to Amsterdam, quite frankly.
I know, and it's actually a nice time of the year as well.
Oh.
Most people don't know that Europe gets pretty cold. Last time I was in London, it was cold, like 30, 28.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that this winter, all you people up north and in the Midwest, that 20 sounds like summer, or 30. But I'm from Texas. It's springtime and the pollen is out. That's why I'm wearing my glasses, because the allergies are bad. But yes, this is the largest medical conference on wearable tech health in Europe, this society. And this is their second annual conference, April 29th and 30th in Amsterdam, which is a beautiful city. Well worth the visit on its own.
Yep. And I do think the tulips will be in bloom by then, if they aren't already. So.
I don't know, but they sure are beautiful if you get a chance. But it looks like it'll be in English.
Now, there's another event. Another event I wanted to bring up that on April 23rd in Boston, in Cambridge. Okay, is a Google Glass challenge that MedTech Boston's pulling together. The second one, first one I did it with them. And let me grab that. Let me find that link again. I meant to put
It was
that up there.
a Google Glassware challenge or
Yeah. It's for wearables in healthcare. Is what it's about.
Well, right now I'm wearing my laptop. It's quite nice.
Really?
Well, I mean, you carry it all day. You might as well wear it.
Okay, I'm gonna
But
pull
that's
this
because
up.
I'm too stubborn to go to my Chromebook, which is infinitely lighter. Well, we
Yeah,
work just as well with KiddoEMR.
this is the Google Wearables in Healthcare Pilot Challenge at Google Cambridge from 6 to 9:30 on April 23rd.
Oh, sounds like fun. Too bad I won't be there for another 3 days.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to bring up. There was another event that you had mentioned. That's
I
just
don't
after
know.
that. Because that week is Wearables Week in Boston, the entire week, which is the third week of April. It's called Wearables Week. MIT's having some events. There's events all over the city all week long, and
So it sounds like Enterprise is gonna make people wear wearables, since no one's really flocking towards buying them so far. I mean, we have yet to see with the Apple Watch.
Well, a lot of us early adopters on glass said this is for enterprise. I tried to raise money for it for the architectural design business and for engineering. And Google didn't want to hear about it. Google didn't want to hear supposedly about glass and healthcare at the beginning.
They only want to hear about their ideas, I think.
Right. And everybody was telling them this is absolutely amazing. Every physician who ever saw it said, they all, the light bulbs just went off like crazy.
Yeah, it's a great first step. But it's amazing for like an hour and a half until you have to plug it in.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they're going to.
And I don't know about you, but I don't work for an hour and a half long.
Yep. But this Wearables in Healthcare Pilot Challenge, a year ago on April 23rd, which is my birthday, we had the first one, and 150 physicians and hospital administrators from partners and all the hospitals in Boston area were there talking about Google Glass. It was strictly glass then. This year it's wearables, but it was quite unbelievable. Everybody was really interested. So
I think it's a very exciting start.
Yes. So I gotta let you get a plug in for KiddoEMR.
Oh, KiddoEMR. My passion or obsession is started.
You should tell people what an EMR is first. A lot of people.
EMR is an electronic medical record. KiddoEMR started as an EMR, but became more of a platform of solutions of healthcare, allowing any doctor anywhere, any patient anywhere to log into their healthcare records, collaborate with care, with specialists, the flow of encrypted information back and forth to really add efficiency to healthcare on any device, any operating system, as long as you have web access. It's done wonders at my office, lowered our cost of operations, given me a platform of obsession, and it's really just for the kids. And we're going to start in foray into mobile this coming weekend at the Ideas Big Android Meet and Greet in Alexandria, which is very exciting. There's a lot more information on my website, which is KiddoEMR.com, and KiddoEMR is on Twitter at KiddoEMR, KiddoEMR.
Cool.
Yes, it's been a lot of fun. I'm always grateful for the children for lending such a noble cause to my obsession.
It's good to be obsessed with something that nice, though. And
yeah, it never gets boring. Every day I have stories. Drool. Kids love to drool.
They do.
They do. It's that drool age, it's that bib age. It's just a fixture on them. They have to wear it. It's just great. I love it every day. It gives me a great vision of who I'm helping. Seeing my patients, daily. It's a lot of fun.
What's your favorite age?
What's my favorite
age, do you think?
Well, the ages are different for my favorite for different things, but I think that for a parent, the coolest age where it starts to get cool before it gets horrible, and it gets horrible, and teenagers could be so bad. But before that is 5. 5's a great age. They ask questions. They understand some imaginary events like what the solar system is like and things like that.
Right.
They can talk in a full sentence with inquisition and respond to you and argue, be argumentative in a positive way, of course, and a negative way. It's like, I'm not going to bed. And then they debate you out of why they should go to bed. That can be a problem. But coming out of like 2 to 4, it's like an oasis in the desert. I'm not like that.
Kids are amazing. I love them.
They do say the darndest things.
Yep. So anyhow, is there any other things, any major things that you can think of happening?
I don't know. Did anybody have any questions? Always just.
I didn't see any questions.
We've been very concise today, Don, haven't we?
Yes.
It's not the ramble on fest that usually is, but I think with your sinus infection, my allergies, we're really just hanging on here, people. Where's the mist? But I think that we're going to be here hopefully every 2 weeks. Next time we'll be updating our viewers about our developer conference at Big Android Meet and Greet in Alexandria, and we'll talk more about trends in health and mobile health.
Great, and this will be available on YouTube, and sometime tomorrow there will be a podcast available on innovatorspod.com, and also there's an RSS feed out there. I will post that all on the event site too.
And thanks for having me.
Okay, Joe, and thank you for coming, everyone, and good night, and
good night.
See you later.